Hello Internet! It's been a few months since I finished this series, but welcome to the bonus episode of Super Mario Sunshine. This is going to go over some things I didn't ever end up talking about during the Let's Play, beta materials left over from development, cut features from old demos, and promotional material. There are many videos already on YouTube that go into more detail on Super Mario Sunshine than I probably will, but I feel like no Super Mario Sunshine LP is truly complete if there's no mention of this kind of material. Super Mario Sunshine is one of the most popular games in the world in terms of development history, and it would be wrong of me not to acknowledge it. Starting off with one small thing, there's an enemy called Cug that is never seen anywhere in the game. It's a simple drawing of a Goomba, and it only appears in the game's files and on 2 unused pollution maps. Or so you may think, but for some reason, if you break the game's camera in Peanut Park Episode 8, it's possible to see Cug under the ground toward the entrance. He was most likely used to test collision, and he also shocks Mario when touched, which led to him being a lightning-based Goomba enemy in a lot of Mario fan games. On that topic, there's also an unused boss in the game called Tramplin Stew. Okay, technically it's called Hinakuri, but the English name is easier and funnier to pronounce. It's essentially a giant stew with gross human-like legs that charges into Mario and occasionally drops Swoopin' Stews and Strollin' Stews. Interestingly, most sources write its name out without an apostrophe, which is annoying as hell to me, and I refuse to comply with that heresy. Tramplin Stew actually still appears in Super Mario Sunshine's files, but it's very clearly unfinished. It's unknown what level Tramplin Stew would appear in, if any of the ones in the final game, though the Space World trailer does show it in an early version of Delfino Plaza. Also, there exist models for Tramplin Stew with and without its head, which is creepy. He does appear in the test level as well, but more on that later. There's an unused graphic for Corona Mountain suggesting that there was an episode select menu at some point. I already went over that in the main LP, but I want to restate it as a segue into the unused music in the game. All of the unused music in Super Mario Sunshine are alternate versions of music that already was used in-game, but it's interesting to note. The music used on the title screen demo is in the game's files, although it's never actually played. The music is a part of the video itself, so there's absolutely no reason for it to be present in the game's files. Have a listen. There exist Yoshi versions of almost every song in the game, including the ones that never play when Yoshi can be ridden. Riding Yoshi adds drums to almost every song in the game. There are versions of Casino Delfino, Noki Bay, the acapella Mario theme from the Secret Courses, Corona Mountain, and the Pianta song from Pianta Village Episode 6. There's a little bit from each of those. also a lot of unused voice clips from Mario. I'll play all of them now.
Oh, my head.
Ciao!
Cool. Too cool. Primo. Perfect 10. Feeling good. It's fun. Hello, door. Another door.
There's data suggesting that there was once a train system in Isle Delfino to take you from world to world. The text that goes with this system says the names of several unused areas and also calls Noki Bay by the wrong name. Noki Bay is called Mare Bay in the Japanese version of Mario Sunshine, but the train station calls it Mare Village. The unused areas include Flame Temple, Battleship Island, Lighthouse Island, and Erto Rock. Flame Temple, Battleship Island, and Lighthouse Island all have temporary in their names in the files, but that could just mean the names themselves were temporary and the levels were cut due to time restraints. It is, after all, common knowledge that Super Mario Sunshine was planned to be much larger than it ended up being. Here's another bit of trivia that most people have definitely heard by now. If you were to remove the Pianta mask from Il Piantissimo, he has the face of the Running Man and Postman from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask respectively. This makes him the only human character besides Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, Peach, Daisy, Pauline, and the strange humans in New Donk City that appeared later in the series. Speaking of humans, they were originally meant to be inhabitants of Isle Delfino, alongside Piantas and Nokis. Early builds show not only humans, but also Tramplin Stew and the original design for Gooper Blooper that proves that, yes, even living things can have night mode. Flood also used to be eerily thin. I don't know what it is, man, but this thin Flood design freaks me out. This is just a note I'm adding because at this point in research for this video, I learned that I called 5 bosses in the game by the wrong name. Yeah, you know the polluted piranhas? Apparently they aren't called polluted piranhas at all. They're called both gatekeepers and proto-piranhas. In my defense, the only time I'd ever heard the words proto-piranha spoken at all was in Smash Ultimate when Viridi was saying the names of variants of piranha plants at a speed of 5 plants per second. Apparently this is the first time they were given an English name. It's just strange that Nintendo didn't go with fan names like they do with other previously Japan-only characters. Screenshots in 2002 also show that Mario's health bar was originally just a sun with a number in the middle, and I'm very glad they changed it. I love the health bar in Mario Sunshine. There were also Petey Piranha heads in Bianco Hills instead of generic piranha plant heads, which is just kinda creepy. Poinks, the water balloons from Bianco Hills, used to appear in Gelato Beach. There were darker brown Pokies, black Piantas, thin palm trees, significantly less unique Swoop and Stews, an early version of the Shell Secret, and green Yoshis. Granted, Yoshi only turned green when he needed a new fruit, but he didn't flash between green and his normal color in this build. Now on to the test level in Super Mario Sunshine. Oddly enough, this was removed from the Japanese version but remains in the North American and European versions. However, the American version is the only one that actually retains everything in the room. Sorry, Europe. It can be accessed using an Action Replay code, but I don't have a GameCube Action Replay and will be relying on footage from YouTube user Milosis, who has high quality footage of some test rooms and such and managed to put an unused mask back on Tramplin Stew. I've tried my best to find a way to reach out to him in order to get permission to use his footage, but he seems to have disappeared from the internet as of 2 years ago. I want to go back to talking about Tramplin Stew first. Tramplin Stew is a very, very clearly unfinished enemy. He looks like an onion and he's a little bit cute at first glance, but if you get over him, you'll see that he has a third eye on top of his head. This is creepier than Daisy in Smash Melee. He also drops little eyeballs that can transform into Swoopin' or Strollin' Stews. It's really unfortunate that Tramplin Stew didn't make the cut. Without him, the Stews are honestly just very forgettable enemies. With the mask on, he looks even creepier. Somehow he looks creepier with a skull mask than with a third eye. I don't know what it is, but I don't like this at all. Several Tramplin Stews appear in the Space World 2001 demo, suggesting that it may have been a regular enemy, but given the size and the obvious weak point, it seems much more likely to be an unused boss. There is a health bar for Shadow Mario in the game's files that was most likely used for debugging. It would be nice if it was in the full game, but it does look very primitive, and it's not the end of the world that there are no indicators for Shadow Mario's health. It is possible to add it back using Action Replay codes if you want it there, and you can even choose the color you want it to be by putting in a specific code for any given color on the last line. There's also unused functionality with the goop. It used to be able to cover Mario's entire body besides his eyes before being changed in the final game. This, once again, can be re-added using Action Replay codes. There's also unused multiplayer functionality in the game, as there's a camera function that, when activated, moves the camera to make sure that both Mario and Shadow Mario, or Il Piantissimo I would guess, though maybe not, are on screen at all times. This is actually very similar to a camera that was used during development for Super Mario 64. And that's all. I know it's a bit disappointing that this bonus video is so short, but that's because I'm not really qualified to discuss this game's pre-release material and unused assets. With that though, this is finally the end of Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine. Thank you for watching if you did. I would say see you for my next Let's Play, but that's already almost done. See y'all later. This bonus video has been in production for a very long time, but I thought it would be a cool idea to get it done on Christmas Day of 2019, which is going into the next year after Mario Sunshine was finished. This Let's Play meant a lot to me, just because it's one of my favorite games of all time. But, yeah, anyway, I just want to give thanks to a few sources. First of all, Source Gaming, the Cutting Room Floor, they also helped a lot with this. Super Mario Wiki, who have a lot of very talented writers and editors. Several YouTube channels that have gone over Mario Sunshine in the past, including Psycho. He did more glitch stuff, but it's still interesting to me and helped me decide on stuff to talk about in this bonus video. And obviously the Mario Sunshine speedrunning community, not so much for this video, but just because I've talked about them so much throughout the course of the Let's Play, and I still stand by my statement that those are some of the most interesting Let's Plays to watch. Thank you for watching Super Mario Sunshine.